Okay, hi and welcome everyone to Auction News TV, the channel for property investors interested in property auctions. Today I've got with me Fee Warren Smith,
Hi, Piotr.
who kindly agreed to do an interview about her experience with auctions. And Fee is a fellow masterminder. She did a mastermind 19 with me, and she was a top 5 performer as well. I'm really glad to have Fee with us today, and Fee will be talking about her experience of buying and selling in auctions.
Yes, certainly.
So Fee, you operate in along M4 corridor. You do office blocks, not office blocks. You do
Blocks of flats.
blocks of flats and freeholds to
That's right,
leaseholds
that's right.
and title splits, right?
Yes, Piotr.
Okay, great. And what is your experience of auctions?
I had a few experiences last year actually. I bought 3 flats in auction, well actually after auction in Bristol. I offered before, he didn't accept my offer, they didn't sell, and I got them after. And that was a fantastic experience because there's so much speed and certainty. And as I bought after auction, I also had a little bit more time to check the legals, which is so important with auctions. The legal packs aren't always complete, so you've got to make sure you get that right. So that was great. And then thanks to you, you helped me on a fantastic project. I bought off market an office block, and I decided not to build it out. I do conversions, but on this occasion I decided not to. It wasn't stacking for me. So I just talked to you, if you recall,
Yeah.
and we decided to put it in auction, and you put me in touch with some fantastic auctioneers. And they did a fantastic job of generating interest. We put it on a very competitive price. I put a reserve on which was going to cover all my costs, which is really what mattered to me. I didn't want to make a loss.
Yeah.
And as it happened, I had to pull it before auction about a week before because the legals weren't in place, and for legal reasons we had to actually withdraw. But we'd already got
before you actually pulled it out, there was quite a bit of interest already in this
Oh,
property, right?
it was so popular. I've had loads of pre-auction offers, loads of them. I had about 8 pre-auction offers. I had people trying to buy it off me privately. It created an absolute storm, which was fantastic. I think we had 2 or 3 telephone bids that had come in. So we were then going to put it in the following month's auctions once we sorted out the legal issues. But one of the telephone bids was happy to proceed. So as with a telephone bid, you actually have to make sure the money's available at auction.
Yeah.
And the money, that he was happy to leave the money there while I sorted out the legal issue. Legal issue done, and I walked away a very happy person, having made considerably more than I was expecting. So that was a really fantastic experience.
Fantastic, and you did it in such a short period of time, right?
Oh my goodness! I think I only owned the property for 5 days.
Yeah.
And I walked. I think the ROI was a little bit mad on that, but it was a fantastic deal.
Yeah, great, brilliant. Okay, well, thank you for sharing this. And you also had another experience with selling in the auction, right?
Yeah.
And you used it for a slightly different reason than with the office block.
Well, it was an interesting thought process. I think having been through the purchase and that
The
sale,
sale.
it opened my eyes up to a possibility. And I had developed a large high-end HMO in Reading. It was beautiful, detached Victorian house with 12 bedrooms, 12 en suites, 3 kitchens, a cinema room. It was just stunning.
Beautiful.
It was stunning.
Like a mini hotel.
It was. But anyway, for various reasons, I decided to move it on, and I'd had interest. I had an offer, and I was underway with this offer. But I could just tell that they were going to be a bit tricky. They decided not to want to start doing the conveyancing for a while, and so I had this aha moment of, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put it in auction and tell him that if he doesn't exchange by the time we get to auction, then he loses the deal. And again, this generated huge interest. It focused his attention, and it was a brilliant way of leveraging. So the cost of going into auction was negligible, really, in the size of the deal.
So you paid some.
Oh, I paid the listing fee,
fees
and
and-
I was very honest with the auctioneer, and I did explain to them that I wasn't convinced it would go through auction from my point of view, because I wanted probably more than we were putting it on at the time. But again, we generated fantastic interest by going in quite low. You get this groundswell of interest.
Yeah, and people are interested because they want to get a bargain, and they just
Yeah,
come.
absolutely, and people were really keen on it. But to my end, it was brilliant as well because we then exchanged a week before it went to auction.
Yeah.
And it was a really effective way of pinning down a purchaser who's being a little bit. And also, I had a gut feeling on this one that we would get to exchange, and they'd suddenly go, "I'm going to drop the price by 50 grand." Or something like that.
Yeah.
So this again kept them true,
Yeah.
because they knew if they did that it might go into auction.
Yeah.
So it was just a nice little technique I picked up.
Fantastic, yeah. So it shows really like what auctions are really useful for. So whenever you put something in the auction, especially you listen to the auctioneer advice and you put it at the right price, that generates a lot of interest, and that's a genuine interest, because anyone wanting to buy or sell something in the auction, they need to be committed, right? There needs to be money behind. And whatever happens, it's definitive. There's no going back. So the auction creates that environment, and you can use that either to force someone to really go with the purchase and put the money where their mouth is, or you can use it to trade properties that you bought off market.
Yeah, I agree with that entirely, but I would say when you're buying in auction, I have noticed a tendency for people, obviously you need to check the legal packs, and I think probably all your viewers will understand the importance of that, but a lot of people don't know that they'll often just load those dodgy documents up on the morning of the auction.
Yeah.
And I certainly learned that a lot last year. We looked at loads of auctions, and so many of them, you go and check them on the morning of the auction. I think there's a rule that they've got to be up something like 4 hours before. You probably know rather than
It's
me.
usually 2 days before the auction.
But there are people that sneak it in at the last minute, and suddenly I had one. I was looking at a block of flats in Bristol, and it was really good, and I knew that our offer was going to be a good one.
Yeah.
And on the morning of the auction, I went in. In fact, we had a telephone bid all lined up, and then I was going to go down to the auction, and they snuck in the killer blow, which was the search wasn't there, and I thought this is really odd because everything's there apart from the search. And the search was snuck in at the last minute. Building regs have been refused. Now, a refusal is completely different from not having it. So you have to just be careful.
You need to be really careful. Yeah. Great. So, what advice would you give to people either interested in buying or selling something in the auction?
Legal pack. Just look at it carefully, but if you look at it carefully, it's fantastic because everything's there. You know what you're getting. It's really clean and quick, brilliant, because you know that you're just going to exchange and do it, and the speed and certainty is fantastic. So I think on buying, selling in auction, make sure, I suppose, that you're comfortable that your asking price covers the costs. So your reserve price, your asking price can foster interest, but make sure your reserve covers what you want it to cover. But be flexible. It's a really fantastic strategy of moving property fast.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for that advice, and thank you for sharing your experience of both buying and selling in the auction. That's really valuable, and especially for people who've never sold anything in the auction.
It's a pleasure, Piotr, but you helped me a lot along the way. So, do take advice from Piotr because he will give you good, solid counsel.
Great, fantastic. So thanks everyone, and I'll see you in the next episode of Auction News TV. If you would like to receive a notification, you can click subscribe, the red button just below. Thanks everyone, bye.
Bye.